Hello again, YouTube. I am back with another serious video message, and it's about celebrities that have been killed or murdered, cloned, and replaced with imposter fraudulent versions of themselves. And today's subject is Mariah Carey, and I'm doing yet another video about concerning her because I feel that I haven't said all I needed to say concerning her situation. And before I get down to the message, the reason I haven't been doing videos as often is because, things have been going on in my personal life that I'm going to just put it like this, it's not been favorable, and, it hasn't allowed me to do as many videos. I just haven't been feeling anointed because when certain people hang around, certain spirits hang around, you just can't, get anointed like you could if they weren't around. But before I get to the message, I would just like to say, if you're not spiritual, this message is not for you. If you're the kind of person that thinks everything is a joke and a game, including people being snuffed out, having their identities stolen by fake versions of themselves, then this message is not for you. If you wanna follow all the lies and continue to follow Hollywood or trashy Tinseltown in the entertainment industry and believe everything they tell you, which is nothing but bold-faced lies anyway, then this message is not for you. If you think, that, heaven and hell is a myth and that Jesus Christ and is an imposter and that there's no God, then this message is not for you. Now, moving on, I would just like to say that I'm tired of people coming around here in regards to Mariah Carey. I know that y'all, like her and all, you had her on a pedestal for this long, but it's about time that, the pedestal, got knocked down. And as my late pastor said, anybody you put up as being a star, they're coming down. And I'm tired of people coming around here saying, oh, it's plastic surgery, or she got, it's cosmetic procedures, and his hair, makeup, lighting, and stuff, which explains why, she's no longer with, she's explaining, those things explain why she changed. I'm sorry, but that bird is not going to fly, because I'm addressing this to the people that are real. I'm gonna just tell you that God is mad at you because you can't make a lie into the truth. Mariah Carey is gone. She's not on this earth anymore. I don't feel her presence here anymore. And I wish you people stop trying to come around here trying to get me to like the imposters, because I don't like them and I never will, especially, the more recent versions. They look a hot mess. They're fat as hell. They're arrogant as can be. And I would just like to say, that no celebrities are real anymore. The last real person, actual original person, died years ago. There's nothing but clones with demons behind them now. And in this picture right here, at first glance you probably think that they're the same person, but they're not. This picture was taken in the summer of '91, shortly after the release of Mariah's second or sophomore album, Emotions, and she was at an autograph signing at a record store. As you can see, the picture is, the quality is pretty good and stuff. It was taken more recently. But the one on the right, it was at the AMAs in January of 1993, and that wasn't, I'm gonna be honest, that's not the real Mariah Carey. But I must admit though, they did a pretty good job on the imposters, on the the initial rounds of Mariah Carey clones and stuff. But it did give away for me that she was replaced was the change in the pitch and timbre of her voice. The voice was a certain way for the first couple years of her career, but after that, it just never went back to the way it was. The Mariah Careys that during the 90s and stuff, they could sing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have anything against them or anything, but they just weren't the original Mariah. And getting down to the differences, the shoulders on Mariah 2.0, they're broader, and the neck is also a bit shorter, and so is the chin, and the neck is also a bit thicker and stuff. And this is another thing that proves that God is the perfect designer, because the reason why the original Mariah Carey, her voice was the way it was, I could be wrong about this aspect, but she was a heavy smoker for like 6 years, I think. When she started to record her first album, I think her handlers, record label, and management made her stop smoking and stuff, which I think was a good thing. And it would been it would been better for her voice and stuff. That's probably why I had that husky sound to it. I mean, but we'll never know. So, but the reason why she had the strongest voice is because her, in comparison to the recent Mariah Carey's, the ones from I don't know, it could be from the 90s, 2000s, or whatever. I'm just saying with the replacements, I noticed they had shorter necks, and that's why, they couldn't, put the notes out better as good as the original one. The original one, she had power, but, the replacements, their voices were more, their strength was when they sang softly, but with the original Mariah Carey, her highlight was, when she belted those big notes. She sang with her chest voice, but the replacements sang with their head voices. I'm sorry, but I'm just the messenger, so don't shoot me or anything. And I'm actually glad that the original Mariah is gone, because she in an industry as evil and wicked as the entertainment industry, specifically the music industry. I mean, she just seemed too good. I mean, she was godly seed. And I'm telling you people now, for those of you that, that belong to the Lord, you will see her again. I can't emphasize this enough. I saw it in a dream that, she did make it. I'm just going ahead and tell what the dream was. I had a dream like a year and a half ago. She was like laying down in this morgue. It's probably on the ground. It's pitch black in there, but I mean, she was obviously deceased, and she had like a white sheet covering her, like up to her chest or shoulders or something, because she was obviously naked or something, and she still had hair like you see in this picture. And I saw two angels. They were tall and slender, and they had their wings, and the glory that was emanating from them lit up the room, and they escorted her soul to paradise or to heaven, which is the temporary place. Just like hell is the county jail for lost souls until it's time for the judgment, paradise is like a temporary hold. Of course, it's a little different now since Jesus came, died, and resurrected and stuff. He held captivity captive. That means he took all the Old Testament saints and brought them up to heaven. And I had to get into that later on, but they escorted her to heaven and stuff. And this is where the saints of the New Testament, the people that died in the Lord over the past 2,000 years, that's where they're at, and that's where she's at, because the Holy Spirit, bears witness to the fact that she did make it, because while she was living, she had the glory of God on her, and she was also very humble, classy, demure. But I also noticed that one thing that tipped me off to the fact, in addition to a few other factors, that she was born biologically males, because I noticed that in interviews and stuff and other aspects where we got to see her personality, I noticed that she was very decisive and very to the point, which is something which is more masculine characteristic or mentality than he is a feminine one. I mean, she got straight to the point and stuff. And she also said that, she wasn't lazy or anything. Getting back to the differences, I mean, this one, it's just something about her eyes. They look, totally black and stuff. So, I don't know what category of clones this one fits in, but it's not the original. And this one also has larger breasts and stuff, and slightly larger skeletal frame. Yeah, she's beautiful and all, but it's not the real Mariah. I noticed that Mariahs of today, the fake ones, the reason why the voice is so restricted and stuff, and I just don't think it's fair, to be honest, that a lot of people are giving. I read YouTube comments on the videos on fake Mariahs, and I just don't think it's fair that you credit something, give them the clones credit for something that that's the original person way back that's now dead or deceased had did. As you can see in this comp right here that I put together, Mariah Carey over the years is that she has many faces, and if you look at first glance, they make to the naive person that doesn't, or the person that doesn't know what to look for, you just, I mean, they look like the same person, but they're not. You examine and compare and contrast the features like the neck, the chins, the eyes, the nose, and just the shoulders or whatever, the width of the mouth and the spacing of the eyes. You see that they're different people. Like this one right here in the red, her eyes are kind of droopy, and this one right here has, out of all the doubles that I put together here, this one has the longest neck, and this one right here, I think she has the shortest neck, and she has a more natural look. She's kind of, and I like the hair out for a little while during the what you call that period, the Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. They let her wear hair naturally and stuff. This one right here, but the thing they all got in common, I mean, this one could be the same as this one, but except for she's wearing a lot more makeup, and this one has more natural, and she actually looks better this way. And when I say that today's Mariah Carey's are arrogant, I did see a little bit of the video on YouTube where James Corden does these karaoke, these carpool karaoke things with celebrities and stuff. I just couldn't watch the whole thing. It was just pathetic. And the reason why she didn't sing those songs, she did kind of sing, she didn't do it right, and she was acting all arrogant and nasty and stuff. I guess because the demon inside her, because all these Mariah Carey clones are not human. I mean, they're synthetics. They put on, it's basically the demons putting on a show like, they're living the fab life. Oh, I'm so rich and I'm so perfect. I'm better than ordinary people and ordinary, common, everyday, working class people and stuff. I mean, they just put on a show because they have it all, but when they really don't, I mean, they're miserable. They're full of diseases and afflictions and stuff, every kind you can think of, like blindness, deafness, arthritis, TB, cancer, and all that kind of stuff, because they know they're going to the lake of fire one of these days. And I must say it again, the real Mariah Carey is gone. There's nothing y'all can say or do or think or whatever that's going to change the facts. I mean, you even have so-called whistleblowers here on YouTube that, and the thing I know is they do videos on the Illuminati when 5 or 10 years ago there's hardly anybody doing, but now these kind of videos are everywhere. And I got a feeling that since these are the last days or the end times, God's gonna bring this thing to a close soon. He's picked this particular time to expose this sort of thing, and I got a feeling by the time that people catch up to it, it'll be time for the rapture. And back to the differences. This photo right here was taken in 1992 when Mariah Carey, the original one, had gained a little bit of weight. I noticed that when she gained that weight, she didn't look fatter. She actually looked better, and she was curvier and everything else. I mean, but today that just isn't going to fly. No, it's not because of age. And this one right here is taken in 97. And then if you look closely, you notice they have different facial structures and stuff, and even their eyes are a bit different. And that's why the original Mariah Carey sing better, because she had a bigger nose. She had a larger nasal cavity, a larger oral palate, and a longer neck and stuff. But it's just the opposite for the clones and stuff. And you also notice if you look at their ears are also slightly different. And someone told me that by the time when they saw her in the Honey video, they noticed that her face was different. But I mean, in this now, since my time is almost up, God bless and good looking out, folks.